Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session on Wooclap, making learning awesome and effective. My name is Annelies de Jonkera. I'm head of expansion at Wooclap, and I'm here today with you to show you the ins and outs of the Wooclap platform. We're also here to accompany you in the chat with more explanations, more information on any questions you might have. And of course, we're also here to acquaint you with our pilot projects that we are launching and that you, of course, can trial Wooclap for free during a full semester. But let's take this up, and I'd like to welcome you all to this session. And I'd like to start with, and I hope that you have your smartphones ready, or another browser window to connect yourself to this lovely event of a Wooclap. So you're able to, or take your smartphone and scan that QR code that you see on the screen. So I'm doing this instantly as well. And you're able to see that the people that are connected will show up here on the right side below. Of course, you can also click the link that my colleague will share into the chat for you to be able to connect yourself as well and to go ahead with some nice ice-breaking questions that I'd like to ask you. So I'm still waiting a little bit more to see people connecting, and then, of course, we can go ahead with the icebreaker questions. We have 4 people connected right now. Do not worry, if we're going to pass this slide, you will still be able to connect yourself because we will have the connection code or the URL here on the slide as well. So what I'd love to know for you today is, how are you today? Hello, Vicky Collins, how are you? Good afternoon. Can you identify yourself with one of these superheroes? I'm going to move this little banner away. I see there are people that are in the sky flying. Someone is really keeping the balance here today. Someone is on top of the world, let's say. Lovely to see that. So thank you all for responding. And well, let's see where you think Wooclap is located on the European map. I'm very curious if you were able to locate Wooclap. And I see a first one coming in on France. And let's await the other incoming responses, because of course I can show the results here, but I can also show the correct answer, and it's really hidden here behind because we are, of course, in Belgium, guys. We are headquartered in Belgium, but we do have another office in Paris. And a last one that I'd like to really dig in is, how would you describe students today in one word? Because I'd like to go ahead and show you a lovely word cloud. So what do you think, or how would you describe students today in one word? So I see they are connected. They indeed are connected. They're fabulous. They are consumers. They're tech savvy indeed. So this is a word cloud going on. I can actually opt to show the results that are sent into a list. So I can actually click on that and start some discussions with my audience. Or I can also show that into a results grid. I'm going ahead and click on that word challenged, which they have all been, of course. All right. Thank you for everything. You see that you can put likes on the incoming answers as well in order to prioritize your discussions on a certain concept send in. Thank you. So I'm going to close the voting here. And let's take a look at the purpose of Wooclap, of course. We'd like to encourage student participation in your courses with interactive questions, as you've been able to witness just now, and see those results in real time. So it's really to go ahead and support the continuity of education and improving the learning process of your students. And we base ourselves on the 4 pillars of learning by Stanislas Dehaene. We know that to learn, a student must pay attention, of course, because the attention rates are dropping over time when passively listening to a course. We also want to stimulate and motivate that active engagement. And then we were able to measure the level of understanding of the learners and give them feedback throughout, because they really need that to go ahead and to make them consolidate the course content into their long-term memory, of course. So, dear audience, you were able to witness that Wooclap is quite easy to use. I asked a connection. You connected to the event. We can see again the people connected here. I asked some ice-breaking questions. You were able to answer in due time, and I was able to present the results. We keep it simple at Wooclap. And of course, to dig in, we have more than 15 different interactive question types for, of course, a fun and varied experience, ranging from multiple choice to polling questions, find on image questions, ratings, open questions that can be turned into word clouds, finding a number, matching as well, prioritization, sorting questions, fill in the blanks, a simple slide, which is always useful, brainstorming, and script concordance, script judgment concordance testing, but also audio and video. And next to that, we do support LaTeX and Asimat as well. And to have that little gamification going on, we do have a competition mode for, again, a fun experience. And of course, you're able to share your events and the questions and work together on events with colleagues. And here I need to state that a Wooclap event can be a course. And we also have a wall of messages. So your students can send in any message at any given time. You're able to moderate that before it comes on the live screen, for example. And you can, of course, opt to address the different questions through that message wall at a later stage, for example. But good, what is a student audience response system without data? Because it's very important to be able to save data, to analyze data, and to share it as well. So we're able to view all the responses received either in a grid. We can actually go ahead and download it into an Excel file for later analysis purposes. And of course, we can also send an individual report towards each of the students when they're connected with their email address. And this, of course, will help the student to see how they've been doing instead the whole group is doing. So this is very important as well. And it integrates, of course, Wooclap integrates, and it integrates within your daily working environment and is still as easy to use. So again, we keep it simple. We can import existing presentations to Wooclap, be it a PowerPoint, be it a PDF, a Keynote, a Google Slides, but we can also work the other way around because we have a Wooclap add-in for PowerPoint and for Google Slides. Next to presentation media, we of course have all those video conferencing systems, for example, because we can also use Wooclap within Microsoft Teams and also within Zoom. This is a feature that will come out shortly. And next to that, we can, of course, integrate with your VLE or LMS. So be it through a Moodle plugin, be it through an LTI plugin for Canvas, for Blackboard, for Brightspace, that is also fairly easy to use, where you can actually also sync your results and have everything created within your virtual learning environment. And then again, adding audio and other content to your presentations is also something that we've enabled with Wooclap. Again here, if you like to go ahead and test Wooclap campus-wide, faculty-wide, or only with your champions, or you like to go ahead and puzzle with it a little bit, my colleague will share a little link in the chat as well to go ahead and subscribe. We will definitely get back to you ASAP after this conference, and do feel free to go ahead and sign up for a pilot, because we help you as well with the onboarding. And we have lots of fun and easy to use tutorials that can be found on our YouTube channel. We have educational tips and the news that we share on Wooclap and what we're doing with our pedagogical partnerships on our blog section. And of course, all of the Wooclap functions are detailed into our help center as well. And next to that, well, who's Wooclap? We launched in 2015, so really scaling our activities throughout Europe. We have more than 500,000 professors and also trainers, professional trainers that use Wooclap to boost their courses, their training sessions, and presented in more than 150 countries where higher education institutions are using Wooclap throughout. And as told through the icebreaking, I saw that little pin on France. We have an office in Paris, but we are Brussels-based with our headquarters. Some of our partners here, we are lucky to work with Study Group, for example, with Goldsmiths University of London. We have lots of other institutions still within the European realm. So please, if you'd like to talk to me about the partnerships that we've been able to set up, do feel free. Ask your questions also through the chat. We still have some time running. And of course, this is me. So you're able to go ahead, send me an email, just go ahead and give me a little call. And now I'm going to exit this presentation to show you around a bit here in the Wooclap section. So this is where you'll have the interface. The interface, of course, will have the voting tab, the messages tab, and the participant page tab. The voting tab is where you're actually going to adapt the title of your course, for example. I named it Alt Conference for today. And you can, of course, also adapt that unique participation link, which I've called Alt C21 for today. And within that voting tab, you will be able to see the range of question types that is hosted on the interface, and just scroll through it. Take, for example, that brainstorming question type. How would you tackle climate change, for example? And then we can add some categories and where you will be able to go. Debbie, please go ahead.
Sorry, Annalise, I'm just going to say, I don't think it's shared properly, so I'm just going to try it again for you.
All right, thank you, though.
There we go.
Yin. All right, thank you. Sorry, dear audience. I'm going to go back. And so you can see what the different steps were to go ahead and dive into that voting tab here within the interface. So as I was telling you, you can change your title of your event that you've created, and you can change that unique participation link as well. And then within that voting tab, you're able to or import the questions that a colleague might have created beforehand, or you can as well just slide and hover over any of the questions that you'd like to create. As I said, ranging from multiple choice to polling, word clouds, prioritization, sorting, brainstorming. And I was at that little brainstorming question type. You just click on it. And I was about to ask, how are we able to tackle climate change? And I can opt to give you some categories. For example, my footprint, How can I lower my footprint? For example, everything that has to do with food, and for example, everything that has to do with travel. I would be able to put likes on answers, and I can, of course, also set a timer if I'd like to, which I will not do. I can save it, and you'll see that the question type is actually here beneath the list of the questions that were already created. And I can just hit start, and you would be able to connect again, if you'd like, through the information that I'm showing again through that little information bubble here. And then you would be able to go ahead and opt for any answers that might be given in the different categories. So exiting here again. And this is how you will use that voting tab to go ahead and create your different votes. Of course, if you'd like to opt to activate the message wall, you can do so here. You can, of course, allow likes, but as well images. For example, if you'd like to ask your students to draw out a formula on a blank piece of paper, and they go ahead and just make a little photograph of it to send in through that message wall, that is, of course, also possible. And then we can display the wall directly, or we can opt to moderate this through the presenter's view that is hidden here. And then, of course, we have that asynchronous part of Wooclap, which is called the participant page. So this is where you're able to create questionnaires. That would be a pre-questionnaire, a post-questionnaire. And we can as well import questions, or again, as you've seen on the voting tab, create different kinds of questions and go ahead to then save them. And then you would be able to publish it now or later. And then, so it's not going to be published right now because we don't have any questions in there, but you can publish this here, and then you can copy the link to go ahead and put that onto your VLE section where the students are able to click on the link and go through the questions at their own pace. And of course, we do have a file section as well, where we're able to add files for the students that support, for example, to go through that questionnaire at their own pace. All right. So we do have lots of different tabs. And oh, Carolyn, thank you so much for that lovely comment you just made. Of course, we've seen the voting tab, how to go ahead and activate the wall, allow likes and images, and the asynchronous part of Wooclap as well. We do have several different sections here on the right that we're able to use, but the most important thing to, of course, explain right now is how to export your research to Excel, to have it into a grid, for example, where you will able to see the different questions posed, and I would also be able to show it into a report, and this would then give the overall results of the group, and will then take up again the word cloud, for example. Going back, so you can see the interface for this last little minute. Please go ahead if you're interested in discussing a pilot opportunity with Wooclap. Do not hesitate to contact us, and as well to answer any of your questions that might still be there at the end of this session. So thank you very, very much. Do not hesitate to reach out to us. I'd be happy to help you with your questions or with your journey and your teams of champions, of course. Thank you very much.